to Entry Point Virtual Church. We are glad that you've joined us today.
Please pray with me. God, thank you for all the abundance you bring into our lives. Open our lives to the blessings you offer and our hearts and minds to receive them. So often, we may feel that luck has played a part in our good fortune and missed the bigger picture of what may be transpiring. And while luck may have a hand in our lives, let us be open to your presence in our souls. When our luck seems to be down, make us aware that you are with us every moment as we navigate these circumstances. Show us the lesson in all of our experiences and help change our outlook of these uncomfortable and painful events. Remind us that there is always light on the other side of the darkness. Thank you for all the opportunities you bring into our lives. May all beings know peace. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be free of suffering. And may all beings know things are just as they are. Amen.
Do you feel like you are a lucky person? Maybe you always seem to be at the right place at the right time. No matter what you do, you seem to always come out a winner. Or maybe you feel just the opposite, like you are never lucky, or even you feel like you're cursed with bad luck. No matter what you do, you seem to get the short end of the stick. In reality, we probably all have our fair share of good and bad luck. According to William Feather, most of us regard good luck as our right and bad luck as a betrayal of that right. The role of luck in our daily lives is actually a hotly debated topic. In fact, science has studied luck for many years, trying to figure out exactly what makes some people lucky and others not so lucky. Probably one of the most involved studies on the role of luck was conducted by an English professor of psychology and author of The Luck Factor, Richard Wiseman. Great name, Richard. Mr. Wiseman's study was tailored to answer this question: are some people in life lucky and others unlucky, or do we make our own luck? Now, over a 10-year period, Wiseman kept track of 400 men and women volunteers of various ages who considered themselves especially lucky or especially unlucky. The results of the study was that lucky people are lucky because of certain things they do. Wiseman concluded that lucky people take advantage of opportunities that come their way. In contrast, and I find this really interesting, unlucky people miss chance opportunities because they're too busy looking for something else. Wiseman also discovered a wide gap between the two groups regarding how they handled misfortune. The lucky people looked at the bad things that came their way and after a time concluded it could have been worse. The unlucky ones let problems and trials immobilize or even devastate them. Another principle that came out of Wiseman's study was that people who consider themselves lucky are people magnets. In the study, the lucky subjects could identify many more friends and acquaintances than people who labeled themselves unlucky. You know the old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. I once met a gentleman in Atlanta who told me a story of a chance encounter that literally changed a life. Sterling was an actor in Atlanta, and now in his golden years, he stayed highly busy in the community theater scene. When he was much younger, he had his sights set on becoming a famous actor. So, like many of us when we were young, he moved to New York City and started waiting tables. He was lucky enough to land a job at a restaurant often frequented by Broadway directors and actors. Since most of the wait staff were aspiring actors, they had an established rotation among the servers. If a guest arrived in the restaurant who had anything to do with the New York theater scene, the next one up on the rotation served that customer. Well, the day finally came. Sterling was next on the list, and in walked a New York City theater Broadway director. But the director wasn't that interested in Sterling, so it kind of felt like an hour wasted. So when Katharine Hepburn walked in, it was Sterling's buddy who got to wait on her. Sterling fumed as he watched them get along and chatting most of the afternoon and exchanging phone numbers. When Miss Hepburn left, his buddy walked into the kitchen, took off his apron, and quit. He smiled and said, "I've got an audition tomorrow. See you later." And with that, Dustin Hoffman turned and left the restaurant. Chance, luck, a golden opportunity. Although many people would state that there is no mention of luck in the Bible, I beg to differ. There is a beautiful and haunting passage in Ecclesiastes that goes like this: "On this earth as it is, fast runners do not always win the races, and the brave do not always win the battles. The wise do not always earn a living, intelligent people do not always get rich, and capable people do not always rise to high positions. Sooner or later, bad luck hits us all. No one can predict misfortune. Whether you consider yourself lucky or unlucky, Sooner or later, bad luck hits us all. And when it does, remember that there is a loving God who is always there for each one of us. That's as good as it gets. I have always had the feeling that we become what we think we are. If we feel like we are lucky, then perhaps we act like we are lucky, and then we feel gratitude for what we have. And then we feel lucky. And when good things come our way, we say we are lucky, or we say we're blessed. But when we don't feel gratitude for what we have in our lives, we feel negative, despondent, and unsatisfied. And then we feel unlucky. Could the solution be as simple as finding gratitude for what we have, and as a result, feeling lucky and blessed? Playwright Tennessee Williams once wrote, "Luck is believing you're lucky." I believe that there are times that luck comes along in the form of opportunities and experiences, and I believe we need to be open to them. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day, and may the luck of the Irish be yours. Amen.
Do you really think there is only one perfect mate?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Well, then how can you be certain to find them? And if you do find them, are they really the one for you, or do you only think they are? Then what happens if the person you're supposed to be with never appears, or she does, but you're too distracted to notice?
You learn to pay attention.
Then, let's say, God puts two people on Earth and they are lucky enough to find one another. But one of them gets hit by lightning. Well, then what? Is that it? Or perchance you meet someone new and marry all over again. Is that the lady you're supposed to be with, or was it the first? And if so, when the two of them were walking side by side, were they both the one for you and you just happened to meet the first one first? Or was the second one supposed to be first? And is everything just chance, or are some things meant to be?
You cannot leave everything to fate, boy. She's got a lot to do. Sometimes you must give her a hand.
I ain't the son of the seventh son. Black cats won't cross my path. Good luck comes, I just watch it run, and it sure doesn't run out fast. I wasn't born under no bad sign, but it was Friday the 13th. East, west, no, yes, I go tell you this, ain't nothing in between. Good luck, I'm the last one to get. Bad luck, I'm the first. When it's good, ain't nothing better. When it's bad, ain't nothing worse. Well, life can get a little hard sometimes. You do what you gotta do. A lot depends on the luck a man has and the cards he's been dealt to. I'd hold his hand if I could, or at least take a card or two. I've been around and my ups and downs. Tell me, does it sound like you did it? Like you, good luck, I'm the last to get. Bad luck, I'm the first. When it's good, ain't nothing better. When it's bad, ain't nothing worse. Good luck, I'm the last to get it. Bad luck, I'm the first.
watching our service today. Please tune in next Sunday. At that service, I will talk about the impact of humility on our lives. Have a great week. Amen.